Hey, I'm Mike.
Hey, I'm Chris.
This is Mike and Chris Reloaded.
Um, we got a chance to go watch a movie over the weekend.
We did. It was a good movie,
It
too.
was a very, very good movie, actually. I think it's kind of one of the kickoffs to basically the summer blockbusters coming up, I think.
You know, a lot of people are dogging on this movie.
How? It was the highest grossing movie in March ever.
I know, but there's a lot of nerd. What is it? Not Nerdist, but one of the nerd places I follow, and a couple other sites on Facebook. They were dogging this movie. They're like top 10 reasons why this movie stunk.
Unless these guys are like true comic book enthusiasts, they just need to shut up. You
No,
can be a nerd and do know stuff, but if you're unless you're a comic book enthusiast, you don't need to know. You don't need to talk.
yeah, they were talking about why they just made a rated R film just to make a rated R film.
Now, albeit, and before we get into this, just to let everyone know, there will be spoilers in this. So if you want to listen at your own risk. We are referring to the movie Logan that just opened up this past weekend to apparently record breaking numbers for March.
Yeah.
But yes, it is rated R. Do not take your children to go watch this.
No, there is nudity in it.
There is nudity. There's an extreme amount of cursing.
And people say fuck a lot.
Yeah. There's our one for the day.
I had to use it. You got the last two.
I did.
That was my turn. Damn it.
But yeah, there's an extreme amount of violence in it too. So
yeah, I mean it was pretty graphic. So what are your points? What did you get out of that movie?
um, me, it's I mean it was. I thought it was one of the obviously the best Wolverine movie they made, which is not saying much.
No, it's not saying much.
But as far as like in the X-Men series too, I think it's actually one of the best ones as far as containing all the X-Men too. If you
Yeah.
add all the X-Men to it, I think it's probably one of the best ones, if not the best one out of all of them.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, it is it's finally the Wolverine movie that I've wanted. And I'm not a big comic book reader, so I don't know the Old Man Logan story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the storyline they're running with. Was the Old Man Logan? Actually, it's kind of a combination of things. It's the Old Man Logan X-23 storyline.
I do know the story behind X-23 though, being a science experiment, and the lady was doing a science experiment and was told not to clone because she had to put part of her own DNA into it
Yeah.
to make it, and then the company made her carry the baby, so she developed a daughter mother daughter relationship with her. So and then she, they put this trigger word in there to get her to kill other people, and instead she killed the company, basically.
That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But it does. She does contain James Howlett's DNA, which is actually Wolverine's real name.
Yeah.
Logan was his given name during the Weapon X project.
And I have to thank Dane for sending me that YouTube link on on comic books read to you,
Yeah.
so I don't have to read the damn things.
Kind of like the books on disc.
Yeah, it's like books on tape, but yeah, except it's comics.
It was really good, and I really liked it because it was, even though it seemed like if you watch the movie, like some people say, well, this movie's kind of slow, but it really wasn't. It was really involving. It was really developed. It showed just how fallible like Wolverine can be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you think about Wolverine or Logan or whoever, he was one of the most iconic characters in Marvel history. I mean, his big thing is his healing ability, and of course he's got the adamantium lace skeleton, which makes him pretty much indestructible, also.
Right.
But in the Old Man Logan series, in the comic book series, it is kind of true to fact. But you see, in the comic book series, he had his adamantium removed, so all he has is his actual bones or whatever. And as he grew older and older, his healing factor tended to it wasn't as good as it used to be, basically.
Right.
I mean,
that's basically how the movie goes. Well, not the adamantium removed from his bones.
Well, no, and also apparently the adamantium was poisoning him, so it was killing him slowly.
Yeah.
So, but it in the comic series, he was he was old. I mean, it was like you're like in like the year 2030,
That
2040.
wasn't like 200 and some years old or
Yeah, he
something.
was like way old, and I guess just no matter what your healing ability is, time still catch up to you.
Yeah.
So, but even the comic book, the Old Man Logan comic book series is pretty graphic too.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, it's got a lot of
We're making my cat meow.
yeah.
Yeah, we have to blame that on our on my kid. They're sick and refuse to leave the house, so we had to move our studio to my kitchen. So might sound a little echoey, and you might hear a pet. I'm sorry. We don't get the luxury of our studio.
Well, that's okay. This is originally supposed to be a top 5, but some other kid backed out too.
Yeah,
Trent
yeah. 2 kids.
and Brandon.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for your reliability.
But that's all right. We're troopers. We move on.
Yeah, so we're just in the show.
So, but back to the story. It was, and again, even the Old Man Logan series, like I said, was extremely graphic. It was in the future. He was actually married, had kids, everything else. So they changed a few of the things. Obviously, the plot lines of the storyline. They made it where the girl Laura X-23 is his daughter, essentially, which is she actually is because it's DNA.
Yeah, she's a clone from DNA. Well, not a clone.
Yeah. It's basically the storyline. The premise of the movie is all these genetically enhanced kids with abilities, we'll go into that. Remember what I told you in the movie theater.
Right. Yeah,
we'll go into that in a minute. Yeah.
Leading up to something here.
But they escape some laboratory and they're getting hunted down, and they find Wolverine, and they ask him to take him to a safe haven, and
Eden.
Eden, yes.
Yes, they wanted to go to Eden, which was in North Dakota, and it looked a lot like New Mexico.
A lot like New Mexico.
So, but they went to they made a journey. So basically, it's them traveling to North Dakota and being chased along the way.
Yeah, they allude to something. I don't know if you caught it in the movie where they talked about the when I guess Xavier's his mental capacity is breaking down, obviously, and he can't control his ability as much as he used to.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it, he's the year, I believe they said the year was 2029.
Yeah, I missed the year.
Yeah, they said the year was 2029. But the reason, well, the guy said it was when the guy was talking to Logan about his limo, he says 2029. His car was a 2024.
Right. Okay.
So, but you got to figure, Professor X has got to be pushing 80, 90 years old by that time.
So easy, yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, and he's having seizures, which
causes
his abilities to
go
haywire, and he freezes and kills people on accident.
Which they talk about. I don't know if you caught the little news refresher thing when they left the casino. They said it was like the
worst one
that
since
happened like 12 years ago or something.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Massachusetts or something.
Yeah, it killed or injured like 400 people and killed like 7 mutants. They said.
Yeah.
So, which I'm guessing that has something to do with why Logan's taking care of Charles or whatever, and he's taking pretty much the blame of everything because, again, spoilers in this movie. So, this podcast about the movie, I should say. So just remember, keep listening at your own risk.
Yeah.
But that's just what I get from it as far as that. Xavier pretty much killed some of the mutants, whatever.
Yeah. And basically while they're being chased, they introduce X-24, which is basically an exact duplicate of Logan.
But younger.
So, which they did okay with the CGI, and that you could tell they used digital aging techniques, and it was a little bit darker and stuff in the picture, but it looked pretty good. I mean, for the naked eye, most people wouldn't have been able to tell that it was something was afoul, but we were watching, and that was one of the reasons people are complaining about this movie, because has he not fought himself, a younger version of himself, before? I don't know. I don't remember it, but I mean that was one of the arguments that people are having saying that he fought a younger version of himself before, or an exact copy of him before. But maybe in the comic books.
He did in the comic books. He fought a clone of himself, but the clone wasn't adamantium laced clone either, though.
No, yeah, this one was a true adamantium lace. I mean, he could take a beating. I mean, they hit him with a truck.
Yeah, see, with the Weapon X project, they took a lot of his blood and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, Logan or Wolverine or whatever was one of the most iconic. He's one of the most. His as a test subject, he was perfect for everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, he that's why they did all the adamantium lace and everything else, because he was the only one that could take it.
Right, and this one, and in the movie, pretty much Logan is the one of the very few last of the mutants alive. It seems that most of the mutants have been killed off by, which I think they allude to Xavier, Professor X or whatever. He's the one that did kill them off accidentally.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no. It's basically in a world without mutants. Like Logan goes into a doctor's office because he collapses. X-23 drives him there, and or Laura drives him there, and the doctor says, "I've been waiting for a time where I got to meet someone just like you." So I mean, mutants are a thing of the past in this era.
Which makes like I said, the Laura, or X-23, and then all the other kids pretty special, because now you got these genetically enhanced, created mutants.
Yeah.
And they're the first ones that anyone's seen in 20 years or so.
Right.
So, so anyway, they go get to their whatever, trying to get to their Eden or whatever. Well, the little girl starts naming off all these names, and this is what I was talking about. We get to here just a little bit. The names actually she names off are the names of the characters called the New Mutants, which was a comic book series in Marvel also. Which I don't know if they're going to lead to anything in it, but like the kid Richter, he was actually the leader of the New Mutants.
Right.
And a lot of them had just different abilities. In fact, what's the show, Legion?
Legion, yeah.
Legion, he was actually a member of the New Mutants for a time too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So, but it's
Yeah, I'm a couple episodes behind on Legion.
I have yet to watch it. So,
first 2 episodes that's what I've watched, and they're pretty damn good. I highly recommend it.
I'll check it out eventually.
But the New Mutants.
Yeah, New Mutants. They again, they're trying to just basically be free. They don't want to be held by all this stuff. So now this is where it gets kind of wonky with me. You got pretty much the end of the X-Men or any type of mutants anywhere, and now you got a whole new breed of mutants,
right?
Which are just kids who are eventually going to grow up, and so now it's almost like it's closing one door and opening another one,
right?
Of course, if you watch the movie, it closes a lot of doors. So
yeah, it does. I mean, we'll spoil it for you, but 2 people die. 2 very important people die in Logan.
Well, technically 3, I guess. Caliban.
Yeah.
Which, pretty much the last 3 remaining mutants alive.
Yep. Except for the young mutants.
Yeah, except for the the genetically enhanced ones. Yeah.
So if you're not getting, Charles Xavier dies and Logan dies, and it's a touching moment when they die too.
It is. It's pretty sad. I actually kind of almost teared up.
I know. We were watching that, Chris, and everybody was pointing at you like. My nose got runny, so
yeah.
I started all of a sudden getting a runny nose. So
he had a sniffle.
I was pretty close to tearing up too. So it was a touching moment when he died. I'm not going to deny.
So, with that being said, you got Logan gone, Professor X gone, introduction of this X-23. So, say we're closing this door in this chapter, but now we're opening a new chapter. So, with the expansion of the new X-Men movies, the new younger version of X-Men, the rebirth of them, I guess you could say.
Which I think they're going to go with probably. I don't think they're going to use the same characters that they used in the Logan movie though. I didn't picture them as being the Young Mutants.
So we got to talking about it. I mean, and we sat there and thought about it. I mean, who would you get to if you're going to cast a new Logan or Wolverine? I mean, say your top 3 or 4 people. Who would you be like? Who would your people be?
You're gonna make fun of me.
Probably.
I know damn well. Probably
No.
everybody listening is gonna make fun of me.
Now. Here's the thing. Everyone I've heard all is like, oh, Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which don't get me wrong, would not be a bad choice. He's got the build, he's got the physique, his acting range is way out there.
Mm-hmm.
He can do a lot, but I just personally I think it's too much of an investment for Tom Hardy.
Right.
Secondly, I just don't think I think his acting range is too broad to where he just wants to stick to just strictly action movies.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I mean, my Wolverine picks you're gonna make fun of me for those too.
Probably.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and just start off with who you think X-23 should be. What one do you think first?
There's a couple. There's a few on here. I mean, I was actually looking through some people and thinking about this. One actually who's actually acting range is really good is Crystal Reed is her name.
Not familiar with her.
She was on the show Teen Wolf.
Okay.
And she was also in the movie Crazy Stupid Love with what is his name?
I don't know. I never saw that movie.
It was a really good movie.
Was it a chick flick?
No, well, no, not really. This guy and a girl a guy and his wife were split up, and he goes off to try and rediscover himself a little bit. It's got the guy played in Evan Almighty.
Oh,
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell, yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. Anyway, off subject here, but yeah, she's still fairly young. She's in early 30s. So, but she's got that look where you can play someone easily. Obviously, the new X-23 she's going to be a little older.
Yeah.
She ain't going to be a young kid. She'll be like probably a young woman by the time everything comes about with her.
Right.
So I mean, she's a good one. I mean, I don't know who do you think?
You're gonna make fun of me, but I think Christina Ricci. I think Wednesday Addams. I think she's in a lot of cult horror movies right now. I really foresee her being able to play the role. I mean, it might be a little bit of an athletic stretch for her, but I mean, she's got the dark personality. She's portrayed that role really well. So I think that she would be. I think she'd be able to pull that off if she could get the athletic stuff down. Which you got Keanu Reeves. He pretty much went through all kinds of training. He's a badass mother pooper. See, I didn't say the F word again, but he's badass, but he took training to get to that point. So I really think
Keanu Reeves actually has martial arts training.
Yeah, I know. I really think that if she dedicated herself, I think that's a role that she would be able to do.
Possibly. Another good one was Chloe Grace Moretz.
Don't know who that is either.
Hit Girl from Kick-Ass.
Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. She's obviously got the acting range. She's been in several. She was in The Equalizer. She played the prostitute in Equalizer.
Yeah.
She was in a very, very good movie, a remake of a Swedish film called Let the Right One In. Her version was called Let Me In, where she played a vampire who's basically a young girl. She was turned into a vampire as a young girl, so she's trapped as a young girl, basically. And she ends up seducing younger boys to become her partner later,
Right.
And but it was a really good movie too. And
yeah, she's got the badass temperament that she could do that too. I see it.
Just darken her hair up and she's good to go.
Yeah, little hair dye and wham.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is probably a common one, but I don't even know how to say her last name very well. Alicia Vikander,
she's the new
Laura Croft.
Laura Croft,
yeah. I mean, I look at her and she played in Jason Bourne as well.
Yes.
So she looks like she could play that role too. I mean, she's already got the darkened hair.
Which is funny you say that because I've heard that and Daisy Ridley.
Daisy, yeah. See, I don't see Daisy Ridley doing it because she's going to be too busy with Star Wars, and she's got too much shit going on.
Too committed too. I've also seen a couple of little ones. I'll just throw the names out: Maisie Williams and Amanda Seyfried.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you ever watch Game of Thrones,
Yep.
Maisie Williams, she's Arya Stark.
Yep.
Which I could possibly see that.
Well, she's older than she appears in the show, so I mean,
yeah.
She plays a young girl in the show, but I think she's like 25 or something like that. Ain't she 24, 25, something? I don't know.
She's early 20s. And of course, Amanda Seyfried, she's another one of those child actresses or whatever. She was in Man on Fire. She was a little girl in Man on Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she's a little older now, so
right.
That's a couple I got, and I got one actually that I think would be the perfect one, which I'll save that one to last, and let's see what else you
got. The last one I got is Nina Dobrev. She plays Elena in the Vampire Diaries.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I know who she is. I haven't seen it.
Okay. I used to watch the Vampire Diaries. I mean, not religiously. I mean, I'm a few seasons behind, and she actually left the show to pursue other acting jobs. But she has the athletic, she played a vampire in there. She's already pretty athletic. She's got the dark hair. She's got a good body. She already plays a badass. So I could really see her fulfilling that role if Hollywood would give her a break to do so. Now, being a B-rated actress, I don't think that's possible.
Everyone's got to have their start somewhere.
But she's not a very popular person, so that's why I said people make fun of me. None of my people have been very popular, except for the Laura Croft one. But
the one I got that would probably be my number one pick would be Haley Steinfeld.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who she is.
I think so.
She was in the remake of True Grit.
Yep.
She was the girl in True Grit. She's in Ender's Game, Pitch Perfect. She's been in quite a bit of movies. Mm-hmm. 3 Days to Kill. There was a movie she made called Barely Lethal. It actually had what is her name? The one that plays the older Stark girl in Game of Thrones. Anyways, they were both in that. They were actually both in that movie, and it was basically and this is kind of funny why I mentioned this. There was basically this school that trained assassins and spies that they took kids at infant ages and sent them to be trained there as assassins and spies. Gotcha. She happened to be one of them, but she wanted to live a normal life, so she ended up faking her own death and going as like a foreign exchange student somewhere to just kind of live a normal life. So, but she was like, in the movie, she was a badass spy, assassin. So, that would be my pick. And she's young. She's only 21. She's, she's got a good athletic build.
I mean, that would fit in with the X-Men series X-Men franchise that they're currently going with the younger generation of X-Men. From the first class on. X-Men first class on.
Well, you got to think too, as even though she's like I said, she's only 21 or whatever, she's played, the girl she played is like 15, 16-year-old.
Right.
And a lot of these people nowadays, hell, Andrew Garfield was 33 when he played an 18-year-old Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah, he still looks young.
Yeah.
I want to know his secret. I look old as shit.
That's because you are, Mike.
And I smoke. I don't drink anymore, though, but I do smoke. So, on to X-Men. On to Wolverine, I should say. Not X-Men. Wolverine. We got to thinking as well, who's going to play the next Wolverine. So, my first pick on that would be Landon Liveron. Do you know who he is?
I don't.
He played Peter in the TV series Netflix original series Hemlock Grove. He played the werewolf.
I've never watched it.
You've never watched it?
Mm-hmm.
He also was on Degrassi Next Generation,
which makes him old.
Yeah, he's in his 30s.
So
I think he's close to 30 or late 20s. I don't think he's 30 yet, but yeah, he's got he played a werewolf already, so he's got the beard, the whole look, the muscular
look
the muscular look.
That's a good one, yeah. A guy I kind of like, and he's kind of still up and coming a little bit, and I don't know if he exactly fits this role or not, but I think given the proper role, it might be kind of a breakout thing. Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth.
And here's the thing: he's still young, but the bad thing I look at him is he's tall. And if anyone knows Logan or Wolverine,
He's like 5'2" or something.
Wolverine's like short as all get out. Yeah, he's like 5'4", 5'5". He's like short.
Yeah.
But that's the only bad thing I see. But I mean, Liam Hemsworth can do the action role. He was in Hunger Games, Independence Day 2, Resurgence, whatever you want to call it. He's got the look. You can give him a little gruff look on him. He's got the physical build. So I mean, yes, no, maybe, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I could see it. I mean, what about like Kit Harington, Jon Snow? He's got the gruff,
Possible.
evil look. I mean, he might have to bulk up. Well, you can't tell if he's bulky under the clothes he wears in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but
they have some scenes where he's like, where he's getting dressed and stuff like
yeah,
that.
he's got a 6-pack. Yeah,
he's got a little bit of a build to him.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know how much that spray on is, but
yeah, I know, right? But yeah.
Well, another good one would be Charlie Hunnam.
I don't know who that is.
He was in of course, Pacific Rim, which you have not watched.
I have not watched it. It's got
Sons of Anarchy.
I have not watched Sons of Anarchy yet.
He's going to be in that new movie, The King Arthur, The Legend of the Sword.
Okay, I've seen the previews for that.
He plays King Arthur.
Oh, okay.
He's again got the build, the look, the gruff look. Of course, he's got the blonde hair. You can change that. Still a little bit tall. He's about 6'1" ish or so, but he's a little up there in age. But he's still not up there where he can he can still make movies. He's about 36, 37. So
yeah, here, I'll throw an ultimate loop. You know who my next one would be? Hugh Jackman. I bet you he comes back and plays Wolverine again. I bet you. They say, I got to talking to Dane on Facebook, and you get to thinking about it. He said in an interview that the only way he'd come back and play the Wolverine role is if he was part of the Avengers, which it's owned by two different studios. Marvel is owned by Disney, and
look at what Marvel did with Sony with Spider-Man, bringing Spider-Man back. So you don't ever know.
So I mean, there is a possibility that we get another Hugh Jackman Wolverine film, but if not. If we don't get another Hugh Jackman Wolverine film, my top pick would be Joe Manganiello.
Really?
Yeah, from True Blood.
I know he is.
Okay, I know he's tall. I know he's pretty tall, but that man is built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, he's pretty stacked. Yeah,
and he's got the gruffy beard, and he's got the the rough look to him. He's not just a pretty boy. I mean, he is. I'm a guy. I'm gonna sound a little gay, but he is nice to look at. I wish I looked half as good as that.
He's not pretending.
Shh! Don't tell my secret. But yeah.
No, I see what you're talking about. I'll throw a couple more names out here before I get to who my number one pick would be, and you're gonna be surprised by this one.
Okay.
Scott Eastwood.
Taron
Egerton.
Yep.
A couple of good ones. Scott Eastwood's starting to come into his own now a little bit as far as getting some bigger roles and stuff. Of course, who Taron Egerton is. He's played Eggsy, and he's young, got the build. He's not that tall. He's
Right.
So I mean, it could be. But my number one, and again, you're gonna think this is kind of weird.
Your number one.
Cat interlude. Anyway, my number one would be Ewan Roan.
Ewan Roan. That's what's his name from Game of Thrones?
It is.
What I can't think of his name now.
The Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
Ramsay Bolton.
Ramsay, that's what it is.
So if anyone's ever watched Game of Thrones, Ramsay Bolton, which he actually plays the main bad guy in the new upcoming Inhumans TV series too.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, he plays a lot of bad guys, but I think he's only 5'8". He's still fairly young. I think he's like 30, 31.
Yeah, I see him playing.
And he's got that, and he's actually built. If anyone's ever watched Game of Thrones, he's pretty actually built pretty good. I mean, he's got just the gruff look to him too. He can, and I think you can. I think you just give him that. I think he can pull it off.
Right. Megan, because of you, we're having to deal with cats. I just want to say that. I hope you feel guilty.
Thanks a lot, Megan.
She's not even here.
Can't even make fun of her when she's there.
Yeah, she left, so whatever. Oh well. So I mean, that's pretty much our list. I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to Kent, who hasn't listened to our last podcast yet, because we haven't shouted him out. We did shout him out last week, didn't we? We did mention Kent's name last week.
I did.
Yeah, I think we did, and
Yep.
he refused to listen to the podcast.
Why?
He said he's been too busy to listen to 29 minutes of audio. Too much work going on.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks to Dane for giving me the YouTube thing again. I want to thank him again for that.
Yep.
And then thanks for all the listeners. We've had, forgot how many downloads we've had.
45 was the last one you told me.
Yeah, 45 downloads for 1 week's worth of shows. That's pretty good. We're pretty happy. Just be nice. We're on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, iTunes. If you guys could go ahead and drop some feedback in there for us, rate us, rank us, and help us in our search results, maybe get a little bit more popular one day. But if not, we're happy where we're at. So you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter,
Tumblr,
yeah, Instagram, YouTube,
and our website.
Yeah.
MikeandChrisReloaded.libsyn.com.
.com. So, and I said F word right away in the beginning, so we can't say another F word. So,
hell.
We can, but we just choose not to. But that's all I got for you.
That's all I got too. We will be back same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Yep, every Tuesday.
And and I want to say happy birthday to your wife, Mike.
Oh, happy birthday to my wife.
Even though she don't listen to our podcast.
Yes, and she has to close on her birthday. How shitty is that?
Yes, that is pretty bad. But happy birthday to her. And one more quick thing. The guy I mentioned as my number one pick for Logan.
Yeah.
Same birthday as me.
Same birthday. And we'll go out on that note. Later, guys.